start with the reports, obviously, as the winter months go on, with no Wimbledon anymore. Obviously, not so many meetings to report on, but the biggest one, of course, coming from last Saturday night at the Foxleaf Stadium in Ipswich for the Banger World Final. Speedsworth Banger World Final for what would have been the rookie spec bangers up to 1600cc, which saw a staggering over 260 cars of race on the night, and certainly with the World Final, lots of excellent paintwork, lots of good cars as well, with the return of the Mark II Cavalier from 961. Notable paintwork has so many to look at, but one that really did catch the eye was the Mark VII Ford Fiesta from 400 Lee Kingsnorth, who seems to be quite a man when it comes to modern Ford bangers, and did not let us down on the night with a stunning paint job. And as I say, there was so many to see throughout the course of the night, not just in the big World Final itself, but those taking part in the last chance qualifiers as well. As I say, strong field of cars throughout the night, and it started with the first of three last chance qualifiers on the night, which guaranteed action from the word go. Lots of cars, though, obviously trying to race for that one last place to get into the big World Final on the night. And, of course, it went away for the first race to treble for Charlie Jackson. Chaz took the first one. In the second race, it was a good race for the last chance second qualifier between 28 Super Craig Cooper and 51 The Horn, Harry Bulchin, who were racing all the way through the first half of the race, with Harry leading the way, and fellow Arlington racer Craig Cooper absolutely pushing him along sideways. They didn't want to spin him out of the race, as they were friends on and off the track, but they said they were going to put on a good show between them, and battled it out right through the race, right to the final 3 laps, where Harry Bulchin went a little bit wide and caught a back marker in the pile up of cars down on turn 1. And 760 also stuck with them two throughout the race, Joey Reynolds. And in the end, the final result of the second last chance qualifier was 28 Craig Cooper, taking it the 3 laps to the end, with Joey taking second, and Harry in the end managed to come home in third. In the third last chance qualifier, it started to get a little more interesting, and lots of action throughout the course of that race as well, and saw in the end a 540 Adam James coming through, Jamesy being the last driver to come through to the World Final. The World Final itself saw a strong field of 66 cars in the end that took to the track, bearing in mind 3 of those were the last chance qualifiers, so 63 seeded drivers arrived on the night. Again, paintwork absolutely outstanding, and a race that had many talking points even before the checkered flag, with obviously lots of big action, lots of crashes as well throughout the course of that. When it came down to the final laps, though, it was a race to the flag between 607 Simon Ford, 295 Ashley Wallace and Kieran Greenway in 191. And when the checkered flag went down, 607 taking the checkered flag. And unfortunately, with a post-race scrutineering after the race, he was found to actually be excluded from the results. His car was found illegal. Reports were that they'd actually drilled the one-way fuel valve on the car, which unfortunately saw him excluded from the race, and that went away in the end to 295 Ashley Wallace, the Aldershot driver, taking this year's World Final. 191 Kieran Greenway took second, and it was Shandy Nicky Jarvis in 98, a regular at the East Anglian track at Ipswich, and Great Yarmouth as well, taking third in the 98 car. Now that the World Final was out of the way, it was a race for the first all-comers, 2 all-comers after the World Final, and as you can expect, the action just absolutely exploded, with lots of big heavy crashes. There was a pile-up down on the scoreboard bend, there was a big pile-up up on the pit bend as well, which saw many cars joining that throughout the course of the race, and also saw the largest amount of cars at any Speedsworth meeting for over 40 years, with 91 bangers taking to the track in the first all-comers race, which I was told was the first time that any Speedsworth meeting had seen that many cars on track at once, apart from one micro meeting back a few years ago at Wimbledon. But in the end, it was the Horn, Harry Balchin in 51, taking the win. The second all-comers race, sadly, was cut short with a time restriction at the Ipswich Stadium, which was getting very close when it came round to the second all-comers race, and also a race stoppage just before the end of that race. It was 3-3-1. Boxer Jason Jackson was leading right from the word go, and unfortunately with the stoppage and obviously the time not on our side on the night, 3-3-1, Boxer Jack was awarded the win. So an excellent well final from Ipswich, and well done to everyone that raced on the night and to Speedsworth as well. And it was just unfortunate that time wasn't on our side for that second all-comers race. Jordan, you was obviously there as well, if I'm right in saying. Were you there, Jordan?
No, I wasn't actually. I went. So I don't know who told you that. Maybe I was there in spirit. I don't know. But I was
always
looking.
In spirit.
I was looking at the results on the night, and I've seen a few videos online and so on. It looked like a really good meeting.
Yeah,
I was gutted I couldn't go, but yeah, looked a fantastic meeting.
I've always said I'm not that keen on Speed of Domestic Bangers to watch, but it did look fantastic action-wise from the videos I've seen. And we have definitely got that result right, haven't we, Andy? It's not going to be changed again last minute.
As far as it stands, it isn't looking to be changed. So that's all sealed up now as far as Speedsworth are concerned. 295 Ashley Wallace is the world champion for 2017. And I must say, though, that was the first out of the 5 years they've run the World Final for Bangers. That was the first one I've ever been to, and I certainly won't be the last. Brilliant night. Then we move on to the Standlake Street Bangers mixed teams. I'll hand you over to Matt for a report on that one.
Yeah, so the last meeting of the year at Standlake for the 800cc Street Bangers, which have been consistent all year round with turnouts of at least 45 strong at every meeting. But what a fantastic and surprising turnout we had in store on the day. 104 cars total, split 85 male and 19 ladies. I think everybody was shocked on the day how large the turnout was, because the season opener back in February attracted around 65 cars, and throughout the year you had about between 35 to about 50 cars per meeting. And then of course you have the Street Banger Open Championship, which attracted around 115 cars. So we were just 11 cars short of the Street Banger Open with no build up to this particular meeting. So a fantastic effort by everybody who turned up and raced on the day. It was mostly a Ford Focus dominated field, as it is with the Street Bangers these days. Not many Honda Civics, that kind of thing out there, but the most unique car, I'd say, was certainly the 2009 Ford Focus from 360 Jackstar, which turned out to be his first ever Street Banger as well, it's worth mentioning. But I don't know why, but it looked quite nice, I think. I don't know why, I shouldn't be saying that for a modern Ford Focus, but it did look quite nice on track, and it was well presented as well.
It did look cool. Yeah, it was very, that as well.
Yeah, it was very cool looking, and it did quite well. It lasted pretty much most of the meeting. Didn't make the first round of heats, but there we go. The turnout was also boosted by a 5-strong team PVR turnout as well, which is worth mentioning. Normally do back to basics, but turned up for the day at Standlake to do some Street Banger racing. Not too much to mention really. It was just a standard day of racing really for Street Bangers. In heat number 1 in the ladies' heat, 3-2-1 Maisie Ems was leading until car trouble, and it was a shame because she got knocked out last meeting. Didn't knock out confidence at all. She came back out fighting, and she just missed out on a win in heat number 1 for the ladies. More specifically, heat 2 for the guys was amazing. Loads of carnage and wrecking going on. I know that shouldn't be the sort of thing with Street Bangers, but it was hugely entertaining, so that was brilliant. But yeah, overall brilliant meeting with some top weather as well. Absolutely glorious all day. Not one bad thing to say about the meeting really. It was overall a top day, so well done to everyone for a fantastic year of racing at Standlake. And the season officially ends this Sunday at Standlake for under and over bangers for the West Country Videos Open. Or should I say that's the following weekend, sorry. But yeah, you got the right idea. That's Sunday the 3rd of December, I believe it is. So I thought I'd plug that anyway. And I think move on, Jordan, to the Stoke meeting on Sunday, which turned into a bit of a boxing match, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Unfortunately, we won't.
Ding, ding, ding.
We'll gloss over that a little bit, because obviously everyone knows what happened by now, and we don't obviously promote that side of the sport. But 50 unlimited national bangers, or around that number, turned up at Stoke for the now annual Unlimited Pride of the Potteries. Heat 1 saw Tommy West following the number 12 Gravedigger Jaguar on the pit bend. Steve Noonan followed in a purple Jaguar, I think the number was 13, on the pit bend at really high speed. A really nice following in there. The final saw not much action really. 210, which I think was Callum McKenzie, got really set upon by the pack, leaving his Volvo 240 estate a decent wreck come the end of the race. For the all-comers, a big push into turn 1 caused a small track blockage for a few moments, but it quickly dispersed before anyone could really get any good shots in. A Gravedigger Volvo estate took a few good hits, especially from 267 Martin French, who returned his beautiful Ipswich World Final car, if anyone can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Nissan of some sort. I don't know if you guys saw that Ipswich World Final, but what a fantastic car that was. And in the DD, not much to report really, other than Noon getting blitzed really hard on the entrance to turn 3 by a Team V Volvo 240 Saloon, leaving his Mercedes estate quite a decent wreck, which is quite rare for these modern cars. It bent quite well, I thought. And that, I think that's about it. I've got that from just the videos I've seen online. I think there's one on Oval Chat, so if you want to see what actually happened at the meeting, go and check that out now.
And we don't promote boxing.
No,
Race
we
meetings
certainly
either,
do not.
Any other meetings we want to talk about before we move on?
I think that concludes